today is an introduction to meditation. And as you can see here with this picture of me looking at the beautiful West Coast, this is often, I think, what comes to mind when people think of meditation. You know, that you're sitting and you are in a place of stillness. And often there's, you know, with Barbados, oh my heavens, we have so many beautiful places that we can go to. But really and truly, meditation is an inward journey. So it doesn't actually matter where you are. I always think of Nelson Mandela spending 27 years in prison and coming out doing all these phenomenal achievements. And for sure, he would have been practicing meditation in his time. So you don't have to be in a place of beauty, but of course, it's a nice thing to do. Now, I have been, I would say, I almost time it with my daughter's birth, but really, I have been on a journey of understanding self for 30 years. But if I think about it, I spent a large part of my life also in Ursuline Convent and different boarding schools, Catholic boarding schools. And I've always been interested in spiritual development. It's been a big part of my life to keep journeying and learning and growing. And then I got into a lot more psychology because I was fascinated with the mind and understanding, our mind, understanding how we view ourselves. And in organizations, I spent a lot of time teaching about communication, but I always started my work with first communication with oneself. I think that is so important to understand yourself, to do that self-inquiry, and then communication with others. And there's a lot of challenges in organizations with communications, but really there's a lot of challenges whenever there's a relationship. You know, there's going to be challenges. So, and indeed, with that primary relationship with is yourself. So this has been, and will continue to be a lifelong study of mine. Excited to be here too, because Keisha, you know, we're looking at meditation from a health perspective. And I have had two major illnesses, and the last one was a really big one. And so I really do understand what it means to be sick, what it means to sometimes not know if there is going to be a solution, and the stress that comes along with not being well. And in terms of kidneys and diabetes and all those type of challenges, these are chronic as well. So it's this aspect of how do I maintain my peace of mind? How do I find joy in spite of these challenges that life has, that you're experiencing? And so we all have challenges. I don't think anybody goes through life without a challenge, whether it's illness, there's so many things that can happen in life. So these are things that we have to learn to grow through. And one thing that I did learn in my challenge is that knowledge isn't always helpful. You know, sometimes you're sick and maybe somebody says, okay, you got to be strong, you got to do positive thinking. But, you know, sometimes that doesn't work. And sometimes that's really the last thing that the person needs you to say when they really, all they need is, just want somebody to listen. So as much as we know a lot of theory on positive thinking and the way to be to get over your hurdles and challenges in life, I think at a certain level, what is really needed is a lot of compassion and understanding and empathy and the ability to listen. So I'm saying that to say that meditation, positive thinking, all these different techniques that we may have to handle stress can help you. But I'm not saying that it's going to be your solution for final healing. You know, it is a tool. Sometimes you do have to use medication, sometimes the things that you just have to do, but there's no doubt that the mind, meditation, positive thinking, all of that is, very, very important. So I'm going to share with you, I'd like to share with you in our session today a little bit about what is meditation, why should we, and I don't even want to use the word should, because should becomes just another opportunity to criticize oneself into having to should, do something. I would like to think that after our session today that perhaps you might use the word choose to meditate. And it's not just one more thing on your list of things that you should be doing that you maybe, don't really want to do. And I'd like to also talk about how to meditate. And I mean, meditation is a big study. It's a big study. It's a deep study. It's a wide study. So today we'll dip in, and hopefully out of this you will, really sort of expand your curiosity. And of course, I'm a believer in experiential training. I think that it's really important that we are the teacher ourselves. So I'd like you to experience meditation as well. So what is meditation? And to simply put it, I mean, there's so many ways to finish off that sentence, is that to me, meditation is bringing us into the present moment with an acceptance of what is as it is. So, right now in Barbados and in the world, we're going through what I would say a very, very challenging time. And that ability to accept things as it is, for what it is a really important way to view what's going on. And some people might question when you say that, does acceptance mean you do nothing? Not at all. It's about being able to take action in a way where you are peaceful, where you are open and guided to do so that it's not coming from a place of anger or stress, or, where it can create a reactive response, but more, an acceptance that this is a situation that we're in, whether it is our physical health, our mental health, whether it's our financial health. Many people are struggling right now. And I think it's, I feel that those times of struggling are times of growth, and so we're going to grow through this. We're all growing through this situation. I think one of the beauties of this situation with COVID is that we're all in it together. So, you have the entire world in a situation where we're in it together. We're in this challenge together. So it brings home this concept of oneness. Instead of separation, oneness. And, we tend to look at the differences in life. And I think that we have one thing in common right now, and that is this crisis that we're in. So meditation brings us into the present moment, not into the past, not into the future, not into the what ifs, and not in, it's about just, there is only the present moment, which is this moment that we are right here now. I'm so grateful that you all are interested to be here to learn about this. That you've taken the time to learn something new that's going to better your life for sure. So now my background is in NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, and NLP is really the study of the mind and thinking of the mind as a computer. And I think that it maps in beautifully with meditation, because meditation is the study of the mind. It's about learning to master your mind. And in order to do so, in meditation, one of the goals is to create what is known as a witness consciousness. So that is the ability to step back and view a situation from the distance. And so that you can understand what are your patterns, why is it that you are stressed out? Or how can you look at things differently? So I have a map here, which I call a map of reality. How do you create reality? So it is our internal representations, which is at the top of the chart, and our thoughts. So our thoughts create our reality. And if anybody wants to question me on that, they can pop in and I'll come off of the screen. What I mean by that is how we identify ourselves, what our beliefs are, what our values are, what our life experiences are. All of those things create what we think is reality. And your reality and my reality are different because we are coming from different experiences in life, different countries, different backgrounds, different, just there's a lot of difference, but at the end of the day, we're human. you know, so there's that similarity. So, but those differences, those thoughts, those values, those beliefs have a lot to do with how we interpret our present moment and what kind of thoughts that we have. Do our thoughts influence our state of mind? Absolutely. So if we start to get a little curious about what are the type of thoughts do we have in our head, then we can start to step back a little bit and go, you know, are those thoughts really serving me? You know, are they really serving me? And then you can, you know, get to a point of choice. But most of the time, our thoughts are just running, you know, like some people use the analogy of a monkey swinging from branch to branch, not even aware of, you know, in auto mode. And they do affect our state of mind. Now, the other thing that affects our state of mind is our physiology. And if, you know, you're talking about sickness, well, my heavens, you know, if you're sick, you know, and depending on how sick you are, you're probably, if you're very sick, there's not much you can do. You know, so health is so important, you know, and the maintaining of health. Does our health affect our state of mind? Absolutely. You know, if you're very, very sick, you're probably in bed lying down, and you couldn't even be participating in this conversation that we're having right now. So physiology is very important. So how do we take care of our body? Does your body affect your thoughts? Absolutely. If you have a headache, it's going to affect how you think. If you're sick, it's going to affect how you think. So both our body and our mind, how we view our reality, affect how we feel inside, and therefore then affect our behavior, affect our actions, affect our decisions. So really, the study of how to manage our state of mind involves the study of understanding our body and doing things to strengthen our body, and also to doing things to strengthen our mind. Okay, so if there are any questions, you can always pop in. Okay, so I'm just gonna stop the share here for a moment. Let's see if I can get this going here. Okay, yeah, because I want you to also feel that you can chat with me and ask any questions about, you know, how do we do this? So meditation, I come from a background of, well, in terms of when people think of meditation, sometimes they'll think of somebody like you said, Keisha, you know, holding your hands in a mudra, sitting quietly, you know, and I have studied, I've been, I don't know, maybe it's 15, 20 years, maybe. I've been a yoga teacher. Now, yoga is an interesting study. Yoga is primarily coming from India. And, you know, meditation does not need to be secular. It's a non-secular practice. It does not have to be associated to any particular religion. And what I like about yoga is that yoga's perspective on meditation is that anybody can meditate from any path. And they think of it in a way, in a scientific way, in the sense that you also are the scientist. By practicing meditation, you yourself can go, does this work or does this not work? And let's have a conversation around that. Now, yoga, when you talk about the body in my last slide, yoga, most people in the West think of yoga as being a form of exercise, you know, where you're doing asanas, where you're doing postures. And most people, that's what they think yoga is, end of story. But yoga is, in terms of the science of meditation, yoga is the path that one takes towards mastering meditation. The other field in the study of yoga is pranayama, which is breath. So breath work is also a path to meditation. So if you want to meditate, you also want to focus on breath. Breath is the connection between our physical body and our spiritual body. Or if you don't want to use spiritual language, it's between our physical body and that place of peace. So if you're going to meditate, you're going to learn about breathing. Breathing is an important part of taking that transition. Anybody who is stressed out, often people would say, okay, just breathe. Isn't that right? Just breathe, take a breath, you know? So let's all do that right now. You're sitting here, you've come, to learn something about meditation. So the first thing I'm going to tell you to do is to breathe. Now, yes, we are all unconsciously breathing for sure, or we wouldn't be alive. A lot of us do a lot of shallow breathing, and a lot of us don't know about conscious breath. So I'm going to ask you right now just to take a deep breath in and exhale out through your mouth. So just breathe in and out through your mouth. Right. I didn't say to breathe through your nose, but I'm going to ask you to breathe through your nose if you can, okay? Because that is a more power. That's how we're supposed to breathe, right? That's why we have two nostrils. So ideally, we should be breathing through our nose, not through our mouth. Now, yes, our nostrils can get blocked and so forth. Yeah, I would say that, yeah, you can breathe through your nose unless you have sinus challenges. So let's do that. Breathe through your nose. And then when you exhale, I want you to sigh. I mean, really, you're in your house, nobody's listening, so, I mean, sigh out loud and give yourself the gift today, this afternoon, this moment, right now, to de-stress, okay? So let's take a deep breath in and out through the mouth. I'm watching Keisha, so I can see that she's doing it. I can't see the rest of you, so I only hope that you're participating, because I am a believer in experiential learning, not just listening to theory, but practicing it. And again, you are the scientist. So do you feel a bit better when you do that type of breathing? Yeah, Keisha's nodding. Yeah, so let's do it again. If it's good, do it again. So let's breathe in and let go. A lot of times I'm looking at Keisha as well, which is great. When you breathe in, sometimes the shoulders come up, the chest opens up, so you are actually, if you think of it, when you are closed, a lot of times your body is closed, you're inside, if you're depressed, you're inside, you're not, your physiology is not open to life. It's like, no, I have to protect myself. Things are not going well. Am I going to get this virus, or am I going to get sicker? Am I going to be like this forever? All these thoughts. And as I said to you, I've been through it. I know what it feels like to feel like all your knowledge is not helping you in a situation, yet it is helping you. It may not be getting you to where you want to be right now, but there's a reason why you are where you are. So let's learn from it. Let's grow from it. So let's take a deep breath in and let it out. Really good. That's great. Let me share screen again. Oh, I'm getting good at this now. Here we go. So you are not your thoughts. Now that's an interesting sort of concept that I want to give you, because a lot of people feel, well, I am my thoughts, well, you're not your thoughts. Your brain uses your thoughts to think, but you have control over your thoughts. Now, I'm not saying that's an easy thing to do. That's not an easy thing to do. I certainly have not thought. Sorry, a question? Renee?
Janelle.
Oh, somebody has their muted or unmuted or whatever.
Yes.
Renee, I think it is. Okay. Renee, can you hear me? Maybe not, but anyway, you are not your thoughts. So that lady is looking up as if to say, okay, if I'm not my thoughts, who am I? And that really, from the concept of meditation, is really the big quest, is to try and figure out who am I beyond this spirit, this physical body. Oh, 1 second. My earphone fell out into the garbage. So, yeah, so who am I? And that really is the question that we want to ask ourselves, because when we start asking that self or that question, we can move beyond our thoughts. We are not our thoughts. So meditation is about learning to become aware of our thoughts. So we have patterns of thinking that happens at an unconscious level that we're not even aware of, that is affecting our physiology, that is affecting our health, that is affecting our blood pressure, that is affecting a lot of things in our life, affecting our relationships. So how do we still the disturbances of our mind? So this picture here shows you clearly somebody who's suffering. A lot of people in our society suffer in silence. They don't tell you what's going on. You are at work, you might think your colleagues look like they have it all going on, and they don't. Most of us are suffering at some level, but we're very good at hiding it. We're very good at acting like there's nothing going on. And perhaps, one of the things that will come out of COVID is that there's going to be a lot more conversation on what happens inside of our mind and the disturbances that go on in our mind. So meditation can definitely help calm the mind and can help those who are suffering from mental health issues. So there's good things that are coming out of the bad things, if you want to put it that way. So what are some of the benefits? So it's sort of like, well, why is it of interest, for me to learn to meditate? I have so many things that I'm supposed to learn in life. Meditation, in addition to that meditation, I have to fit this in somewhere in my life as well. How am I, is it worth it? What are the values of meditation? Well, as you can see, the lady at the computer, maybe people don't show their bosses that, but maybe working at home, that's going on a lot, because you're not in a public office. But a lot of people are experiencing stress. They're experiencing depression. They're experiencing insomnia. They're experiencing anxiety. They're experiencing worry, and these are things that can ruin lives. These are not things to just take, lightly. These are things that can ruin your life. So it is very important that we seriously attend to things that, techniques and habits, mindset, patterns and habits that can help us to manage this in life. And we are all experiencing this at another level. Meditation improves. So we're not looking only at, the problems, but meditation improves productivity. So if you are, struggling to get your work done, if you're struggling to focus, if you find your brain is going here, there, and everywhere, if you're struggling with your memory, if you're struggling with coming up with creative ideas, or even struggling with thinking, meditation can help you to think better, to have, to be able to be a more creative thinker, to be a more critical thinker, to be a more rational thinker, to be able to focus on thinking. We are in the cell phone world, right? We're in the cell phone world. It's pulling our attention all the time, scattering us all the time. This is the reality that we're living in right now. Now, I think a lot of people like to rely on science. So is there science to back up meditation? Yes, there is science to back up meditation. Harvard research has shown that meditation improves blood pressure, lowers the risk of heart disease, lowers the risk of stroke, reduces cholesterol, on and on. Basically, meditation, I would say, any dis-ease can be helped from meditation. So you can use meditation to heal. So an aspect of meditation for healing can be affirmations. Say it to believe it. Louise Hay, I don't know if anybody have heard of the name Louise Hay, but she's not around anymore, but she wrote a book, You Can Heal Your Life. And it's all about affirmations, the power of replacing thoughts in your mind with something that works for you. I am healthy. In the present moment, I am healthy, even though, oh, I'm not very healthy. I have cancer, I'm not healthy, but, just the act of saying I am healthy, helps your mind to start to believe that, what, yes, I am healthy. I am healthy. Visualizations, see it to believe it. So a lot of us are, the other way around, we have to have proof. But when you start to move into the world of meditation, you're moving into the world of visualization, of affirmations, of really utilizing your mind to work for you, to be an ally, you know, to be your closest friend, because the mind can also be a great enemy. You know, the mind can be so critical, so judgmental, so harsh, you know. And so that's why I say, you know, meditation is also a personal journey, because as you meditate, you're going to start to recognize your thoughts. You're going to start to be able to witness them. You start to be, my God, is that what I think about myself? Is that what I'm saying to myself? You know, and, you know, yeah, it is. Where did this come from? Yeah, so sometimes, yeah, you got to go back to your childhood. And I'm not here to blame parents. It's what I call the poisonous pedagogy. It is repeated patterns over and over and over and over again through generations, until somebody wakes up and goes, hello, no, no. You know, and that's what I love about this time. The youth of today are ready to get up and go and say, no, I'm gonna shift this pattern. And I think that you're never too old to shift a pattern. And if illness is knocking on your door, shift your pattern, you know. So I want to do a little turnaround exercise. I really believe in doing, you know, not just speaking, because I don't think words is just the main deal. You know, you got to do it, you got to feel it. All right, let me get out of this PowerPoint here for you to, okay, let me get out of this PowerPoint, escape, and stop share. Okay, I'm back. All right. Now, I don't know if you all want to stand up. I don't know if you're on a couch. I don't know where you are, but I'm going to ask you to stand up. Let me see if I can tilt my computer up a little bit. All right. So this is what I call a visualization technique, which actually involves some meditation, because meditation is inward focus. Okay. It's inward focus. So you have to get comfortable closing your eyes. You know, some people are scared to close their eyes. I don't think they want to know what's going on in their mind. So, okay, let's all stand up. All right. So can you do this seated? No, you can't. You'll find that out in a minute. So close your eyes. So as soon as you close your eyes, you've blocked off your visual. So you're listening to me now. All right. And that is meditation. First of all, you're going to block off your visual. Just get a little bit of that experience and then open back up your eyes for me. Right. I mean, ultimately, folks, I would like to think that we could live our life utilizing the benefits of meditation. So in a sense, meditation in motion, meaning that we're always in a sense in meditation. We're always present in our life. So I want you to raise your right hand up. Right hand. I want you to keep your hips square. So I'm going to do it first. I'm going to keep my hips square and I'm going to turn around. I'm going to go as far around as I can without moving my feet. And I'm going to mark where my hand landed on the wall. Okay. And then I'm going to come back and come down. So do that now. Raise your hand up. Go around as far as you can and notice where your hand is on the wall. And come back. Like, so for me, my hand was about there on the wall. All right. So I hope you guys are doing this at home. You see, this is what school teachers have to do, isn't it? They're probably wondering, are these children listening to me? Anyway, so let's bring our hands up. Okay. Now we're doing, when I say that, you're doing that physically. Now bring your hand down. I'm going to ask you to close your eyes, right? I'm going to ask you in your mind's eye, I'm going to ask you to raise your hand up. You don't do it physically, you do it in your mind. So it's a form of meditation, okay? And I'm going to talk you through doing that action of twisting yourself around, but in your mind's eye, okay? You're not physically doing it. Okay, so close your eyes. I want you to raise your right arm up with comfort and with ease. If some of you have physical challenges that you can't do this, I'm sorry that you can't join in, but just do it anyway in your mind. Okay, so you raise your arm up and I want you to start to turn to the right and I want you to go as far as you can. But in your mind, I want you to imagine, if you will, that you have just got this new flexibility, right? And you could go a lot further than you did when you did it physically. And you're enjoying this. This is like, yeah, this is fun. I'm like super flexible. And then come back around, all the way around to the front, lower your arms down and open your eyes. So Keisha, I see you raising your arm up. This is meditation. You're only doing this in your brain. No raising your arms up, okay? So I'm glad Keisha I can see her, because that means other people are doing it too, for sure. Okay, so sometimes I say count my fingers. There are 3, right? You can hold up 3. You see 3 fingers? Now I do that just to kind of break state, right? So we're gonna do it again. So again, remember, you're doing this in your mind. So you might be going, oh my gosh, how do I do that? It doesn't matter if you're confused. It doesn't matter if you're like thinking I'm not doing this right. Whatever you're doing is right, okay? So close your eyes. So this time, imagine, you can always ask a question too if you need to. So imagine that you're raising the right arm up, and oh my gosh, you have become Spider-Man, Spider-Woman, and you are going around like an elastic band. So you're going around like twice as much. And I know your brain inside is going, oh my gosh, there's no way, I can't do that. My body can't physically do that. There's no way that's gonna be done. But in your mind, you can do it. So you're going around and you're going like, wow, I am so flexible. And I want you to notice how far you have gone, in your room that you're in. And you're going to be like wowing yourself on this whole thing. And then just come back around, come around, come around, come around, come around, lower the arm down, and then open your eyes. Yay. 5 hands. Can you see those 5 fingers? Keisha's like, Keisha, you're probably gonna like, Keisha's sitting down, but you can't sit down because I have one more to do.
Going again.
One more for the round. One more for the round. See, physiology, right? Physiology. So raise up that hand in your mind's eye and go around. But this time, can you believe it that you could even go around twice? That you have that sort of, Spider-Man kind of body, or I don't know, just a body that can do amazing things, like go around twice. So feel yourself going around twice. Now, wow, I am so bendy. So use your imagination, let the inner child out. And you're like, whoa, this feels great because it's easy. And then unwind, 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 come back to the front and lower your arms and open your eyes. So we're gonna do this for real this time, okay? So take up your right arm and I want you to go around and I want you to notice how much further you've gone this time. And come back. All right. I know not everybody wants to put on their camera, but if you can and willing to, you could put on your camera and give me a thumbs up if you went further. Anybody else? Anybody else went further? I can't see. Put your thumb up. Yay, thumb up. Yay. Yahoo. Oh yeah, look, I have a computer thumb up. Heck, you don't even have to show your picture. Just put a computer thumb up. I love this world. I love it. Anybody else? Thumb up, thumb up. Beautiful. Now, isn't that awesome? That's pretty awesome when you think about it, right? Think about it. Think about that. You always had the potential to go further. But when you first did it, you had in your mind a certain concept about how far you were going to go, about where your body could go, right? So what changed? Through visualization, you changed your belief. You tapped into more of your potential. You took the action, but because you had visualized yourself going a lot further, you did. Oh, that's a pretty powerful little exercise. So you can start asking yourself, what am I, what are some beliefs that I have in my life that could be holding me back? And sometimes we're told beliefs, especially with healing. There's a lot of beliefs. I mean, I think I was doing some research on kidneys today, and there was once a belief that kidneys could not regenerate, for instance. And now there's a belief that they can. I mean, yeah. So at the end of the day, you're the scientist, right? You're the scientist. So open your beliefs. So that's a wonderful little exercise. And, even in terms of children, if you go to school and you don't get a good mark in spelling and you keep getting good, bad marks in spelling, you start to change your belief that I'm not a good speller. And then you don't tap into your potential, you don't take the action, you don't get the results you want, and hopefully maybe like through this exercise that we're doing right now, visualization is the best technique strategy for spelling. That little child could learn to spell properly, tap into their potential, and start to get good grades versus, oh, I'm a terrible speller, and then I'm not very smart, and then the spiral goes downward. So it is about strategy, teaching the child how to spell properly. And I'm giving you one, actually. This is a strategy for spelling, how to visualize. So, but in terms of any area of our life, if we can't visualize it, if we put a block on that, then we're basically saying that we don't believe it. We don't believe that can happen. So that was your first little meditation, right? But meditation with, with a lesson. And I've done that. I've done this exercise in lots of different contexts. And so anytime you need to reaffirm yourself, this is an exercise that I would like you to go to and to utilize. So remember, you can stop me anytime that you want. I do like questions.
I think there are a couple of questions. I think I see Shade has her hand up.
Oh, okay, brilliant, brilliant.
I love had his hand up at one point. So if you guys want to ask some questions,
maybe I don't understand. Is that what that hand is? It's a hand. Oh, okay. So what do I do?
I think so.
Do I click? Do I click on Shade? Oh, Shade, you have to unmute.
Yes.
Shade, you have to unmute for me to hear you. Are you there, Shade?
Maybe it wasn't a question, but I saw Cecil had his hand up at one point, and also Shadi. I mean, I guess if they want to ask, they'll come jumping at whatever point. That's okay.
Good evening. I did have
Cecil. Okay, Cecil, sorry, I'm learning this thing. Yes, Cecil, go ahead.
My question was going right back to the beginning.
Remember,
you had said at the beginning that you don't need a special place or environment in which to meditate.
Yes,
but
yes.
Later on in the program, you said that when you're going through your exercises in preparation of meditation, that you need to do deep breathing. Am I right?
Right, breathing. Yes, breathing, yes.
But if I wasn't in a secluded area, let us say I was outside my house standing up doing that, my neighbors would probably think I going mad.
Part of meditation is getting to the point where you don't give a damn what your neighbors think. If you can get that out of meditation, then you're doing very well.
So, and truthfully, in fact, you actually do need a special location when you're going to meditate.
Well, do you pronounce your name Cecil? Cecile?
Cecil, I like to call Cecil.
Cecil, yeah, okay, Cecil. At the end of the day, Cecil, you got to do what's comfortable for you, right?
Okay.
So, that's really where it's at. You're certainly not going to stop meditating because, you want to meditate outside and, you don't want to seem crazy because you're doing deep breathing and they'll wonder what's going on. So then maybe in that instance, you might not do deep breathing in quite that way, right? But if you're in a situation where you can, absolutely, because you can do deep breathing without it being, shall I say, noticeable. Like, I mean, the breathing we did at the beginning, that was noticeable. But I'll give you a breathing right now, Cecil. Let's just close your eyes. Well, you actually don't have to close your eyes, but when I'm meditating, I immediately close my eyes. So keep your eyes open. Let's breathe in for the count of 3. Hold for 3. And breathe out through the count of 3. Breathe in for the count of 3. Hold. And breathe out for the count of 3. This time when you breathe in, breathe really deeply. Breathe in for the count of 3. Hold. And now when you exhale, really let it go for a long time. Cecil, I think you could sit on a park bench and nobody would know you did that breath.
All right.
All right?
Yes, I must try it.
Okay.
I think I will try it in the park. I will go take your advice, go in the park and try it.
There you go. There you go. Okay, so let me see now. How do I know who else is hands up? I'm looking for hands up. Okay, I'm not seeing. If anybody else had a question, you know, just, you don't have to wait for me. You just unmute and say it. Okay, brilliant. Good. Yeah, I like questions. It's great. It's good. It's a good question because you see, oh my gosh. Oh, I could keep talking forever, but I won't. I'll keep going because you see, Cecil in his mind thought of the first breathing that we were doing, and then he mapped that into the breathing. No, there's so many different types of breaths, right? So, all right, let me share a screen here now. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so what are some of the other? Okay, let's move from here. Okay, here we go. Now, how nice it would be. I mean, one of the other benefits of meditation to be at the center of the hurricane, right? You know, to be able to feel centered. You see, and that same breath that we did, Cecil, that's a breath that can take you to the center of the hurricane. Because breathing, when you're stressed out, your breathing is very shallow, very, very shallow. So if something is bothering, that's why your blood pressure goes up, you know? So if you're like, oh my gosh, you know, oh my gosh, because and the other thing too, part of meditation is becoming aware of the, oh my gosh, you know, notice that people do that when they're going, oh my gosh, or in a football match, you see people go, oh my gosh, you know, whatever. So our body tells us what's going on inside of our mind. So if you feel like you're in a hurricane or you feel like you're stressed out, stop. Just stop and go, okay, I'm just going to take a few deep breaths here now. Breathe in. Slow down, move out, get out of the lane, get out of the race, step off the treadmill, stop, breathe, center yourself. All of that is in that imagery of the hurricane. You know, I think sometimes we want to make things complicated, but nature has made it very simple for us. Our body has those techniques right there at our fingertips. A simple breath in and out, you know, is all you need. Okay, now I want to bring up meditation in different contexts as well in the spiritual practice. Meditation itself has been an ancient practice found in all world religions, linking the heart and minds of practitioners to sources of guidance, inspiration, and the divine. So I like to remind us that this is a spiritual practice as well. So some people would think of prayer as a meditation. You know, they're making a request for help or an expression of thanks to the divine. Also, you can think of meditation as a form of prayer in which a person seeks to pass beyond mental concepts to a direct experience of the divine. And when you move into that space, that is when you open yourself up to healing at levels that we may not be able to understand. So meditation allows you to go there as well. And that's a lifelong practice. This isn't that, you know, that you just do that. And, you know, this is something that you commit to. Meditation is, you commit to it like you commit to brushing your teeth. You know, I'm not saying that you have to meditate every day. I'm just saying that it's something that's in your life that you come to. We're humans, including me. You know, so sometimes I meditate more in my life and other times I don't. You know, I fall off the bus. I fall off the truck. You know, we all do it, you know. Well, I'm certainly not that personality that will stick with something forever. You know, I fall off and I come back. I fall off and I come back. And, you know, I think most people are like that. So this is not an opportunity for you to now beat yourself up on something else that you need to be doing in your life. So this is Richard Rohr. He's a Catholic preacher. I love his writings. Meditation, a discipline of contemplative prayer or meditation can set us free from the frantic churn of thoughts and feelings and enables our spirit to rest and roam in a vaster, wilder space. Beautiful. So these are some quotes that I want to share with you. This is me and my daughter, Fardy Hill, you know, one of those beautiful spots that we have in Barbados. Talk a little bit about the types of meditation. So you can passively, a lot of people think of meditation, that's passively sitting. That is a very powerful form of meditation because you're not using any other thing to distract you. You are there with your thoughts. You can also passively meditate by lying down. There's something that I call yoga nidra, which means yogic sleep. So you're lying down, but you're not falling asleep and you're being guided. Other than that, you can also do seated guided meditation, which I'll do a little bit of as well. And I also want to point out that meditation is in our lives all the time. So you might do yoga, Tai Chi, Qigong, you might do breathing, but also you might do photography, writing, art, dancing, swimming, anything that puts you in the present moment where you are living life. You're not thinking about yesterday, you're not thinking about tomorrow, but you are in the zone, you are contented and happy. All of those are meditation. They're not necessarily the meditation that we're talking about, that I am honing on in today, that I'm focusing on today, but it's meditation. It's important to have those activities in your life. Okay, so getting started. Find a private space where you will not be disturbed. If you go on the park bench, you could be disturbed, but that's okay. That's life, right? You're not going to get angry with somebody because they're disturbing your meditation, right? Because you accept what is as is. This person disturbed you for a reason. So if you're on dialysis, gosh, it's a perfect place. Okay, it's not a private place maybe, but it's a perfect place because you've slotted out some time that you can actually meditate. You know, it's like I have to do it. So instead of watching TV, I'm going to do this. Set up a routine, you know, like everything else. I do classes. In fact, I'm thinking of doing a community class on Zoom, maybe twice a week at 5:30 in the morning to tell people to get into practice, and it will be a free class. But set up a routine. Early morning is the best time. You're coming out of the, you know, of that quiet sleep, and you're now waking up. So if you meditate, then you're kind of setting yourself up for the day, you know. Not after a meal. You don't want, you know, the body dealing with digestion when you're meditating. In fact, a lot of people who meditate fast, you know, if you really start to look at people who take meditation very seriously. So you really don't want to be heavy with food. And that's why a lot of meditators are vegetarians and things like that. Meats and whatnot ground you and so forth. But that's a whole nother discussion. Length of time. Listen, this is not another time for your critic to come in. Do it as long as you can, right? 5 minutes, great. 15 minutes, even better, you know. If you can do it morning and evening, perfect, you know. Prepare your body, wear comfortable clothes. You know, if you're getting up early in the morning, splash your face, have a shower. And then find a comfortable seat. When we get into the final practice here, I'll show you about, you know, sitting upright and being in a good posture. That's important as well. Okay, I'm going to come into just a little bit of the but with meditation as well. Oh my God, I cannot believe it's 5 to 4. Okay, I cannot go through all my slides. I have to give you all the experience. So this is a slide that I put up because a lot of people say meditation is boring. Well, you can tell me after we do it, but do not let that stop you. And this lady is the head of a very large organization, training institute in America. I love what she says. The point of meditation is to sit long enough to hear the craziness of your mind and to keep sitting and to keep sitting until the craziness becomes begins to calm down and some other wiser voice bubbles up. Okay, and I am going to stop my PowerPoint at this point in time so that you can experience some meditation. Okay.